Jennah Loggins. I am from Los Angeles, SoCal, and I was on the women's soccer team at Tennessee State. It was very rough. My aunt is the one who actually raised me. My mom, okay, I don't want to say rough because it wasn't rough. I'm just saying it was rough for my mom because she was a single parent with 5 children. So that's what was rough about it on her end. But my mom actually passed away when I was 1 year old. She died of an asthma attack. And then shortly after, my father stopped coming into my life. He ran to drugs and he got addicted very quick, very fast. So he was never a part of my life, and so my aunt raised me and my siblings. So shout out to her. She was a single aunt. She took care of all 5 of us. There were times where we were moving back and forth, apartment. Weren't stable at one point. We were, all 6 of us were living in a 2-bedroom apartment. My brother didn't have a bed. He would be in the living room. It was really rough for us, but my mom, she just made the most of it, and we all grew up super close. That was our one thing, is just staying super close to each other, and obviously having God in our life was a big part of it, and what got us through a lot of things actually. So other than those challenges, I had a great childhood. She did the best that she could. We were always doing stuff. We were always at the park or whatever it was, and she tried to spoil us as much as she could. So growing up, I played a lot of sports actually. I just had the most offers in soccer, so I was okay, maybe I should just stick to soccer. But middle school and high school, elementary school, I played a lot of sports. I played basketball, volleyball, softball, track, soccer, literally all the sports, you name it. And then when it came down to picking 2 sports in high school, I ran track all 4 years and then soccer. But I would say my little sister actually encouraged me to start playing soccer. She started playing 2 years before I actually started playing, and she's younger than me, so I would always be at her games and her practices, and I would be okay, wait, this is kind of cool. And she was actually really, really good. She didn't go to college, but she just didn't want to. That just wasn't her calling and her purpose, but she definitely could have. But yeah, I would say when I got to high school, I kind of knew it was between track or soccer. And so when those letters and offers started coming in, it was more of soccer. So I was okay, maybe I just stick to soccer. I would definitely say high school is when I was falling in love with soccer. I actually loved track a little bit more than I loved soccer, but it's so surprising because I had more offers in soccer than track. But it's okay, everything works out fine. I would definitely say a tough love type of environment. Our family didn't have a lot of resources, and so playing soccer, it was hard because it was hard, but also we had a lot of we had help from one of our coaches that was of experience putting girls through college and stuff like that, college ball. But it was definitely tough love type of thing. Our family didn't know really too much about sports and the soccer and how to get us to college. And so we literally did anything we could to get us to college or get me to college. My brother, he's never played soccer before. He never watched soccer before, and so we started I just remember him YouTubing soccer videos and soccer drills and trainings, and he would just take me and my younger sister out to the field, a random field near our house, and he would just train us to the best he can. I would say outside was definitely my family. They just pushed me to always stay in sports, and I've always known okay, you're gonna go to college to play a sport, and you're gonna get a scholarship because that's the only way you're going to go get an education at the college level. I never really watched soccer. I only watched soccer because I had to, but I would definitely say the OG Alex Morgan, she's pretty cool. school, but other than that, like, I don't really have no one.
That's okay.
I would just think like maybe like our family like trips. Like I remember we took a family trip to like Hawaii one time, and it was literally just like our family that we never met in Hawaii before, so that was really fun. It doesn't have to do with soccer, but like it was a fun like family first trip, so that was really exciting. Oh yeah, for sure. There were a few times actually that I wanted to quit soccer. When I tore my ACL, I was like, I didn't want to quit immediately because I knew that I wanted to come back stronger and like prove to myself, not only to myself but to my family, that I can like overcome hard things. But after like difficulties, like setbacks within trying to come back from my surgery, like I just had multiple like just like minor injuries where I'm just like, okay, well, why can't I get to this next like level? Why can't I get here? Why can't I run this week? Like there were so many setbacks within the process of me getting back from my ACL, and so that was definitely hard for me. And so there were times where like, okay, well, I thought to myself like, well, what if I just quit? I'm not gonna come, you know what I mean? But then in the back of my head, it was always like, okay, Jennah, like you are way stronger than this and you can do this. And so I just mentally, physically, and even like emotionally, it drained me, and it was so hard for me. But I think just, you know, like proving to myself and my family that I can, you know, do hard things and overcome like hard situations and challenges was like my motivation to coming back. And like that was always like, okay, my second thought, like Jennah, like do this for your family. And so yeah, there were definitely multiple times where I was like, I can't do this anymore, but I always just thought back to my family instantly, and it just helped me. Okay, so my first ACL I tore a month prior to coming to San Jose State my freshman year. I tore it in like a pickup game, and so I was so devastated. Actually, okay, when I first tore my ACL, I like sprinted off the field because I was so in denial. I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I was so in denial. I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't go check up on it. I actually let like 2 to 3 weeks go by, and I thought like all the swelling was gonna go away, and it actually didn't. And so I would have trouble like sleeping, and it was just so hard to like fall asleep and just like sleep throughout the night. So I went to the doctors. They took my MRI. They did x-rays. And then they came back with the results, and they were like, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you actually tore your ACL. Instantly I started crying, and I was just like, no way. Like I instantly thought of like my scholarship, like what my coaches would think, like thought of like the worst possible things that I could think of in the moment. I finally had called my coach like that next day, and she was actually so supportive. She was like, it's okay, like just get your surgery and then like you can rehab up here. And so that's what I did. Rehabs, got better. Was like, it took like a year and like a couple months to get back, but I finally came back stronger than ever, actually, it felt like. And then my fourth game back, this is 2020, so my fourth game back, I actually tore my other ACL, and this was during COVID. This was during COVID. We were at Nevada, we were at Reno, and I had started, and at this season I was playing defense. I'm usually like a forward, but this season my coach had put me at defense, and I'm playing defense. First 15-20 minutes of the game, I'm like tracking this player down, I'm like backpedaling, and she's coming at me, and I'm like, she cuts in, and I like plant and twist my foot, and I just like fall down. And I'm like, bro, no way. Like, I'm screaming, I'm crying, like, I'm calling for, like, my therapist. Like, I'm like, there's no way. Like, that was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Like, it was worse than this, like, my first one, actually. And that was because I tore my ACL, my MCL, my meniscus. Like, I blew out the whole knee. Like, it was just everything that I could tear, break, I did in this knee. And so I was still in denial. I was like, this is the worst pain I've ever felt, but I'm gonna be okay. And I literally got off the field. I couldn't walk. Like, I literally couldn't walk. And I was like, I told my trainer, I was like, I looked at her, I was like, everything's fine though, right? She was like, yeah. She's like, we're gonna call the doctor over right now. Yeah. She's like, we're gonna call the doctor over right now. I was like, okay, cool. So he did the ACL test, and he was like, yeah, it's not looking too good for you. And I was like, cool. Still in denial. I was like, okay, well, I want a second doctor's opinion. So literally that next day, it was during COVID, so we had like a 10-day trip. So we bussed from Reno all the way to Boise. I bussed from Reno to Boise with a torn ACL, swollen, like crying. Like I'm on the bus for hours, like stiff as heck. And then I seen the doctor at Boise State, and he was like, oh yeah, it's ACL. And I was like, okay, well, can I get an x-ray? Can I get an MRI? Any proof. And so they were like, yeah, sure. So I went that same day, and yeah, sure enough, it was like everything was blown out. Came back, rehabbed like a year and a half later. I also had like a couple setbacks. 3 months later after this surgery, I actually flew back by myself from Boise to San Jose State the next day because I was like, okay, I just want to get surgery and like I want to, start my therapy. So I flew back by myself, got the surgery the next week, and then 3 months later, I had to get a second surgery on this one because my knee was infected. There was like the surgery suture strings like were just like floating in my knee, like they're supposed to disappear after like a couple weeks, and they just never did. So it was causing like infection within my knee. So I had to get a surgery 3 months later. And yeah, I finally came back and I'm healthy. Yeah, we're healthy now. So it was definitely hard for me. Mentally, I feel like since I've had so many like ACLs, like I'm definitely not the same player. Like I was never the same player that I was prior to tearing both my ACLs. Like the confidence wasn't there a lot of the times, and like when I went in, I was scared to play on the field. But I had to remind myself that if I played scared, that I was going to get hurt. So I kind of had to like just talk myself through when I was on the field at times. But definitely my confidence was like ruined after so many surgeries and ACL tears. I also didn't get much playing time. Like I probably played like a couple games, but yeah, it was a challenge for me, and I still I went through what I went through for a reason, and that's kind of like how I think of things. I don't wish anything like went differently. I think that everything happens for a reason, but I would definitely say that my confidence and how I played were not the same, for sure. Yeah, I definitely have reset days throughout the week. I think a lot of the times I feel like drained, and I do a lot in my day-to-day, so I'm always like super busy. I like to stay busy. I don't like to have like too much downtime. I like to stay busy. I like to do a lot of things, but I also like a reset day during the week, and so I take that time to every day I journal. That's number one. Every day I journal. I read my Bible, I read a scripture a day, and that kind of helps me like stay grounded throughout the week. And so on Sundays are like my rest and reset days, which are really needed because I think I'm just always go all the time and quick and always like rushing to the next thing, that I just need a day to just like wake up and like not feel like I have to rush or I have to get somewhere within a certain time. So I definitely take those days serious. Like I either like get a massage or like I get my nails done or whatever it is, but I definitely take care of like self-care. That's really important to me. Getting my nails done every 2 weeks, massages, whatever it is, the girls' maintenance, I do all of it. So I definitely, that's how I take care of myself. I love that. Yeah, I do. Well, I would wake up, listen to my worship music. I would journal, read. I would then take a shower, and I had to shave my legs. This is like my number one thing. I was so I had to do this. I had to take a shower and shave my legs that day, 2 hours before. It always had to be 2 hours before the game, or not before the game, as like after I woke up, it was like always 2 hours after I woke up, so I always had to shower, shave my legs, and then like I would sleep, take a nap, whatever it was, watch TV until I had to get to the field. And usually we had to get to the field like 3 hours before, but then like I would just like do rehab or whatever it is like in the facility area. I always had to do my knee exercises because I had to keep them strong. I think that's it. Like, listen to music. Yeah, nice. I think a lot of like non-athletes don't like realize how hard it is to be a student athlete. There's so much pressure on you. You have so much to do within one day. Like, you have classes, you have, you know, schoolwork, you have practice, you have film, you have whatever it is. And I don't think like the non-athletes understand the pressure that it takes, the mental pressure that it also has on you, and like even like the physical part of it. Like, it takes a lot. Like, you're literally putting your body, like you're working your body like at 100% every single day, and a lot of people don't understand that's mentally, like, it's mentally a challenge, and you have to push through some of those things. But as an athlete, student athlete, you definitely have much more pressure than just like a regular student, for sure. One thing I would tell my younger self today is just to keep going. Like, you're gonna go through some things, Jennah, and they're gonna be hard things, and you're gonna want to give up, but don't ever give up, because it'll just push you and make you an even stronger person in the end.
I love that.
I would say one piece of advice that I got when I was feeling that way as an athlete was try to roam and like find other hobbies that interest you. Like, you know, like I couldn't play my sport for so long, so I had to find something else that I was interested in, and something else that I could put, you know, like my time and effort into. I seriously couldn't play soccer for months, and I had to just figure out other things that I liked and other hobbies, and that was really hard. But I would definitely say, like, continue to try and like put in the work. Obviously, put in the extra time. Don't just go practice at the time that you're supposed to, but put in that extra time to get better. But also find time for yourself to like do other things and find other things that interest you. Oh, please do it. I spoke to a sports psychologist during my time that I was going through my ACL tears and other injuries, but I would definitely 100% recommend like seeing a sports psychologist or going to therapy or whatever it is. It's good. It's so helpful, and I know it's scary and sometimes nerve-wracking, but it really helps you. Like, they talk you through a lot, and they teach you and educate you a lot on, you know, what being an athlete is. And so I think it's like super helpful to 100% get help in that way. Oh gosh, it's shaped me in so many ways. Like, I feel like as a student athlete, you don't only learn like how to be better at your sport, but you learn so many like life lessons that a lot of people don't learn. Like, you learn time management, you learn how to work on a team, you learn self-discipline, you learn self-motivation, like you learn how to you just learn so many things that a lot of people don't really like learn or like go through experiences to help you learn. And so I think, honestly, I was literally thinking of this question the other day. I was like, if I was a student athlete, like, I probably wouldn't work out every day. Like, I wouldn't be motivated to like be a better person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like as a student athlete, you learn so much. Like, a lot of life lessons for sure. I still want to be successful, but definitely different, with a different goal. I think as an athlete, I was aiming to like, you know, be a starter, go professional, or do this in the game, score this many goals. But now that I'm not an athlete, I think now I'm thinking into like my career and like what I want to accomplish and some of my goals as like now being in the tech corporate world and how that kind of looks. I'm still like figuring it out because I'm still very new to it, but they're definitely different, but the same at the same time. Like I still want to be successful. I still set goals for myself. I still want to do this within this quarter or this semester. I still want to do this in a game, but in a meeting, you know what I mean? So they play like the same role, just in different aspects and areas of my life. My journey in one word, it would be, wow, that's a good question. I would say resilient. I think I either resilient or adversity. And I say those two because I've had so many ups and downs, setbacks, challenges, hardships in my life, and just like my time at San Jose State that I had to face. And there's so many aspects of my life where I was just like really going through it, and I had to literally push myself to get out of it. And without like obviously God and my family, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I would definitely say resilient or adversity. I've been through a lot of things and I've gotten out a lot of things, and I've been very successful at a lot of things. And so without, you know, the hardships in my life, I wouldn't be who I am today. So definitely those two words. I'm a brand ambassador at Adobe, and I'm basically the main source of communications out to other teams. So yes, I miss it a lot. I really do. I think about like, what if I would have, you know, tried to continue to play after college, or what that would look like. I do think about that a lot. I do coach. I train. I do private trainings at PNP Academica. So check us out on Instagram. So I do train, and so soccer is still in my life. I'm just now training people and not playing soccer, but I do sometimes have the thought of like the what if I continue to play. But like I said multiple times, like everything happens for a reason. And yeah, oh god, I didn't have like a specific song, but it would be like, it just depends on what I was feeling that day. Like sometimes it would be Lil Baby, sometimes it would be like reggae, sometimes it would be like country. Like it just depended on how I felt on the day. Least favorite drill, anything. That's crazy that I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say anything that had to do with running, but soccer is running. But probably like conditioning. Like it was like a love-hate relationship. Like I loved it because it made me better, but I hated it because I'd be so damn tired. But I loved it because it would keep me fit and it would, you know, keep me in soccer shape. But it's conditioning for sure. One of my favorite team memories, I would just have to say like the away like travel trips, like just being in like different states or cities with my team, like making memories with like, you know, my closest friends. That was like the best time, like exploring different parts of the world with like my best friends. Like that was fun for sure.
Yes,
I want to say yes. I for sure, but I can't think of like a specific moment. But knowing me, I probably had multiple. Like I'm just so dumb sometimes. Like,
that's so funny. Well, that was good.
That was so good.